Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Today we are back with episode 3. I feel like we are making some good progress and it's only going to get better. Before we get into this episode, we got to thank the man above for allowing us to be able to do all the things that we do and plus more. Um, Today's video episode title is Being Overlooked. Something a lot of people don't think about. You could be overlooked for a lot of different things on your job, in your family, in your relationship. And when you be overlooked in those things, you have a tendency to feel certain things. You have a tendency to feel discouraged in certain areas of your life. Um, Before we get real deep into this video, we're going to pause for a second, vibe out, different approach. Being overlooked. You ever worked at a place and you've been there for years, years. Then a new person come along that's might have a little bit more experience than what you've had because they've been doing it for a longer period of time than you, but just not at the place that you've been doing it at. And it's time for right around time for promotions. You got your managers telling you, "Oh, I feel like you'll be good for this position," and blase, 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 and they give you all this extra training and stuff like that. But then when a new guy comes in along, or a new girl, whatever the case may be, have you train that person? Have you get top tier with that person? You show them all the ins and the outs and the ups and the downs about stuff that they already should know if they've been doing it longer than you and already have the experience that you have, just with a different background. You train this person and get them in tip-top shape. Then, when it comes time for promotions, they pick that person for the position over you. And now you like, man, I done did all this work. I done been here. I done been putting all my time in here, my blood, sweat, tears. And you pick this guy over me. What makes him more qualified than me? I've been on the job longer than him. Even though they have more experience than me, or whatever the case may be, I'm a better fit for the job. So why not just give me the job? Why look elsewhere in people that's not reliable and not dependable and create more chaos than what you really have to? I remember years ago, I was working at Logan's, and I had been there, I don't know, a couple years. And then one day we got a new guy that came in and he was looking for a job for blase, and he got a job for grill side. And I worked expo and fry side, sometimes grill too when they needed it. So the new guy comes in and he's just strictly on the grill side, but he don't know as much as I know. So they like, okay, we're gonna have you work with him, and when the times come, you you guys will switch. He seems a little bit comfortable more on your side than he is on the actual girl side. So once you get him up to par to be where he needs to be, and where things, can flow a lot better back here, then we'll flip flop. And during that time, it didn't make a lot of sense. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm been here the longest. I got the most experience. I know what's going on. Let's do this. So they had me train this guy, and you know, me being an observer, you notice little things throughout that whole training process. And I'm trying to tell my kitchen manager, like, I don't think he's gonna be a good fit. I don't think he's gonna be able to handle busy nights like a Friday or a Saturday. Because it used to get pretty busy, pretty hectic some days. You got people getting off and people getting paid. People don't want to cook or stuff like that, with their families, and they in here, they ordering all type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? But I trained him to pretty much take a position that I should have got. And when it came down to it, and he got the position, like I said, it wasn't a pretty good fit. He had already showed little signs in between that. You know, it wasn't being dependable and wasn't reliable. And then me, I was always there. Like, I was always usually the first one in, last one out. I'm here from sun up to sundown. You know, so they pick him for the position. Cool, whatever. Then it's a Friday night, and things are getting pretty busy. You know what I'm saying? And everything hits the fan. I mean, we usually have two grill guys back there, and then like a navigator, going back and forth to the coolers and the freezer to get stuff that, both sides may need, make sure everybody is good and things can flow the way that they need to flow. When things hit the fan, you notice you only got one grill guy. Everybody like, where's such and such? Where's such and such? Hey, you know where? Nope, haven't seen him. I'm doing my part. You know what I'm saying? That's a you problem. You picked him for the position, and now he ain't nowhere to be found. It's hot back here. It's busy. You cracked under pressure. So now you looking at me to go over there, leave my man station to go over there and help them out. No, no. Where's your grill guy? Where's your back in the house team lead? Where's your person that you pick? Deep down, inside of me is like I was looking at them like, okay, what do you want me to do? That's a you problem. You're a kitchen manager. You jump back here. You figure it out. You do what you got to do in order to keep the kitchen running, and don't expect me to do it because I don't really want to do it. When I was doing it, everything was fine. And then you brought this new guy in here and expected him to do it, and now he ain't doing it. So now you want me to do it because you realize you done made a mistake, but now it's too late. So during that time, we still can't find him. He left. After a while, kitchen manager jumps back there, gets things going, blase, blase, whatever. And then the kitchen is running smooth, kind of, again, after the rush, and all that good stuff. So after shift, closing time, manager like, hey, let me talk to you. I'm like, cool. What's up? He's like, so why I didn't what? Jump over there and save them for something that I already been doing, and when it got hectic, I was able to handle it. For what? That's not my position. That's not my title. You want me to do the work without the title. You want me to do the work without the pay. And I don't think that's fair. When you've already hired somebody, had me train them, you need to find them. So he's like, so that's how you feel? That's exactly how I feel. So go home. Next day, come back to work, and that guy is there in the morning time. Now, the morning time, you get there a couple hours early so that you can prep, for the day ahead. And I'm like, hey, how did you last night? He's like, oh, I just wasn't feeling good, and I'm like, so you just left in the middle of dinner rush? He's like, yeah, it wasn't my intentions, but I'm better now, and we're gonna get through this. You, I hope you do, because I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? So as the morning gets on, it gets a little busy. That's lunch. You got people coming, corporate, from the hospital or from wherever it is around there, and they want a quick lunch. You know what I'm saying? Lunch rush gets a little hectic, gets a little busy. All right, so now it's two of us during this time, so that until everybody else get here for dinner and so forth. So tickets is coming, flying, steady coming in. You can hear the printer going on and on and on. I'm like, okay, cool. I look up. I'm like, hey, bro, where's my career guy? And everybody, service like, we don't know. We haven't seen him. We thought he was back here. Nah, man. You got tickets coming out of the printer, stuff all on the grill. He gone again. So I went and grabbed kitchen manager like, hey, your boy's gone. I'm like, and this is who y'all picked over me. Now this is something that y'all have to deal with. And by the time you come to realization that you done made a mistake, which is what happened, after a while, it came to realization that they had made a mistake and that they shouldn't have picked him over me. But by then, I was uninterested in the position. I didn't want the position anymore. And I was just like, no, I'm cool. Like, I'll just keep coming here, doing my expo side, and doing the fry side, and stuff like that. And if girl need help, since you already got two reliable people that's already over there, I don't know why you hired that extra person. If they need help, then I'll help them. But other than that, I don't want to. I don't want the troubles. I don't want the title. I don't want none of that. I'm cool where I'm at. Cause it kind of like, in a sense, hurt my feelings. Like, you overlooked the qualities that I had, and you overlooked the time and the effort that I had put in here, and in the relationships that I built with the team around me, for somebody else that just because they got a culinary degree doesn't mean anything. Have they worked in a kitchen that when it gets hectic, they can handle it under pressure? No, obviously not. Because if he had he would have never left. First couple dinner rushes, first couple lunch rushes, just in the middle, and ain't nowhere to be found. How's that reliable? How's that dependable? I've showed you time and time again how when stuff hit the fan, I can handle it. I can do both. I can do expo and I can do fry. You can leave me back here by myself and stuff will flow the way it needs to flow. But once you cross that line and you overlook, then everything after that becomes a you problem. Because I'm only going to do my part, and then after that, I'm going to go home. And I ain't going to stress about it, and I ain't going to worry about it. It ain't my business. So being looked over in a job is different. And management acting like everything is cool in the beginning until things hit the fan. And when things hit the fan, then they looking at you to save the day, and it always happens. And deep down, you want to be like, I told you so. I wanted you to see what I've been seeing, what I tried to tell you in the beginning before you even gave that person that position, that title. When you got somebody that is right here, that is willing to do it, that doesn't mind it, and that is always here, so why not pick them instead of going another route? You just making the job harder, but for yourself. Now you gotta do more work because the person that you thought was gonna be able to do the job is no longer here. So now what do? And you don't want to have a bad relationship between you and your kitchen manager, or you and your staff, and or other people that work in the kitchen with you, because it's not their fault. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's like you put yourself, well, not you, but them, put themselves in a predicament that they knew was not going to pave out how it should have paved out. So that's why you shouldn't. That's why you shouldn't overlook people at the job just because they might not have the criterias or certifications or the license that someone from the outside coming in has, because they haven't worked in the same environment. They don't know the ropes of the establishment like the person that's already there. Um, and so when you do that, you just cause more headaches, you cause tension, and you never want that type of stuff within the workplace. You never want that stuff, period, because that's how things run badly. If you don't have those type of tensions, things run a lot smoother. Things are a lot better, and especially when everybody gets along and everybody's on the same page, everything is really good. I don't. That's one thing I never understood, why companies, small companies, big companies, whatever, why they overlook their good workers but promote and praise the bad workers, or the workers that slack off or that don't really do much of anything, and they give them all this credit to make them feel like they big, and realistically they not. When you overwork your good workers and then they get burnt out and then they want to leave, and then or they calling off, or they have these attitudes and stuff like that, it's like, because bro, you overworking me and you ain't giving me no credit. You overworking me and you're not giving me no recognition. And then if you got me in here training different people for different positions, and then you giving it to them instead of giving it to me, when it's like, why? What's the point? I never understood why companies did that. Reward the bad workers, but overlook the good workers. And the good workers is, to me, feel like who makes things in the company run smooth. So why would you want to push them out if I have all these bad workers in here, and give your company a bad reputation, a bad name? It just makes no sense to me. Never made any sense to me. So I just think companies should really think about that before they do that. Because not only do you push people out, but you also discourage them and hurt them in ways that is not right, because they feel like they're not equipped or fit enough for the job, even though they've been there. But off that, not only do you be overlooked in at your job, but some people overlook you in your relationship. Now, and by that, it could be you could be with somebody, and then time goes on, and somebody else might come along, and they become friends or whatever the case may be. Your partner picked them because they selling them a dream that is totally false, or your partner feel like they could treat them a lot better than how you treating them or how you've been treating them, or like they got more money or whatever the case may be. And it's like, how do you pick somebody over me or whatever the case may be that you barely know, barely been in contact with, or whatever the case may be, because you feel like they got it all put together and they got a better interest in you than me, or your best interest at heart than I do. When 9 times out of 10, that ain't never right. They telling you all these lies just to get you to be with them, and they doing the same thing to you that they done did to somebody else in in the past. Like, you and your partner could be going through things, and then along comes this random person or whatever the case may be, and they get it all in their ear, and they get to believe in all the stuff that they telling them, and then y'all break up. Your partner get to acting funny and moving differently, and don't want to be bothered, and all y'all do is argue, and then the first thing is they'd be like, oh, well, we don't spend enough time together, or you don't treat me how you used to treat me in the beginning, or we never go out anymore, and you never buy me a bunch of things. And it could be like, because I'm trying to build together in different ways, and yeah, we spend time together, just not as much as we used to. It's not like we don't spend no time together at all. It's not like we don't hang out and do things together at all. Just not as much, because as you get deeper into relationship, things change. And I don't think people understand that, especially in this generation these days. I don't think they really know how to love per se. They just be with you for the time being, and then when they done getting their needs and wants fulfilled, they out of there. They're gone. They on to the next best thing that can do that plus more for them, and don't have to worry about nothing. But then they get with somebody else different, or get with somebody else new, and realize that what they thought they saw in them is nothing compared to what you was doing, or how you make them feel, or any of that. And it's like, you believe somebody over me that you barely know or just met. You let them sell you a dream that you just, oh, so fell in love with. And now you are in a situation that you don't really want to be in. And you feel stuck. And you're miserable. Because now you sitting there and you comparing every little thing about that relationship to the old relationship, and they getting upset because they like, why you keep comparing me to such and such, and I'm not them, and this ain't that, and you thought things was gonna be all peaches and cream when you came over here. No, I lied. I'm not doing all that, and this ain't that. And now you stuck, or at least you feel like you're stuck, because sometimes you can get out of them, but if you too wrapped in and head over heels, um, and they got you all the way wrapped around their finger, you pretty much not gonna go anywhere. You know, um, it's better to not overlook the person that is giving you everything, even when it's not on your time, than going to search for it somewhere else. Because 9 times out of 10, when you go search for it somewhere else, you're going to get less than what you're really asking for. You're going to get less than what you really need. And that's like a punishment, you know, for you not just sticking with your partner and working it out. Um, and then that makes your partner feel like, well, dang, you know what I'm saying? We done got to this point, we done built here, and we supposed to be, growing together. But when things get a little tough or things get a little rocky or whatever case may be, you run, you know? Then, you be in a situation that you don't want to be in, and you try to, as people call it, spin the block. 9 times out of 10, that don't always work because now that person is uninterested. Not only are they uninterested, but their feelings is hurt. They feel some type of way. They like, oh, so your situation didn't work, and now you want me back. But when you had me, you left me for so-called greater. When you had greater right here, you know. Um, Now you want to treat me as though, uh, as though I matter, or like you really care. No, that's them wanting to treat you like a second option, and they'll never let nobody make you feel like you're a second option, cause you're not. If I'm not your number one pick, then I don't want to be it at all, because that's like leftovers. I don't want to be your leftovers. I don't want to be here because now it's convenient for you. Because you realize that that situation that you was in doesn't compare to the situation that we had together. And they can't give you what I was giving you. And they don't have no more money than what I have. Or even if they do, who cares? Money is not everything. Don't let people say that all the time. Oh, they got money, they gonna do this, they gonna do that, they can provide for, they can do this. Okay, well, what can you do for yourself? What are you doing for them that you you know? Like, come on, man. 9 times out of 10, when you try to spin the block over a person that you overlooked for someone else that you thought was gonna be better than what you already had, doesn't work. And people gotta realize that, like, you give that person like a damper in their heart, like, so I'm not worthy enough, and I don't mean nothing, and just because I can't buy you all the cars, jewelries, homes, and houses, and all the finer things in life that makes you want to look elsewhere, and and for somebody else to be able to do that, like, I know sometimes, you be with somebody, and in the beginning you are flooring it. You giving them everything, and then it comes to a point where things stop, because you guys, during that time, you go through different things, and different things happen. A lot of things change. You know, it's you giving them the same stuff that you was giving them, just not as frequently as they would like. I guess in order to feel appreciated. Um, and I actually kind of like went through that um, in the beginning of a relationship. You know, giving it everything that I had and buying different stuff and making you feel, appreciated and wanted and all that other good stuff. But as the time grew and relationship went on and things got different, a lot of those things started to change. Um, Priorities switch from certain stuff. Now you're more focused on, okay, if we guys really gonna be together, let's elevate. each other in different ways and all the other extra stuff. It's not about how much money I can spend on you and stuff like that. It's about actually building, you know? Um, but yeah, my partner at the time felt like, you know, I wasn't giving them enough quality time or giving them the stuff that they needed that I was giving them in the beginning. And mind you, we had been together for a good little minute, you know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden, you leave great for you think greater, and then you get with greater, and it's realistically not greater at all. It's worse. Now you stuck in this situation and you a little miserable and you don't know what to do and you try to come back and that person is like, no, for what? Why do you want to do that? Why do you need to do that? You know? You left me for that person, so stay with that person. You thought that situation was better for you? Cool. Stay with it. Because now I'm no longer interested. I moved on, and now it's time for me to focus on some other stuff because my focus was here, and you don't want me or didn't want me, so don't try to act like you want me now because they don't want you, or because the situation is not what they put put in your head that it was going to be. That's why you can't. That's like false advertisement. You can't fall for stuff just because it look good or sound good. And people do that. In this generation, they are only looking out for themselves. And then you got the older generations that is looking for a different type of love. And that's why we stay single for so long or be single for so long because we're looking for love that we feel like don't really exist or that we're not or that's not going to be reciprocated, especially with this generation because they're young and they only want it for the time being, and then once they get what they get out of you, they're like you're useless to them and they don't need you for nothing else, and which is wrong for you to waste people's time and your energy. And that's how you make enemies, by getting people involved, and then feelings get involved with with different stuff, and then you turn around and you be like, okay, yeah, I'm done here. What do you mean you done? So if you got you a good person, stay with that person. Don't go looking for greater when you got great, because 9 times out of 10 it's not going to work out for you. It might. I'm not saying that it won't, because there is that possibility, you know. But then again, when things get hectic in that situation, are you gonna run? Are you gonna try to find somebody else that's not doing the things that you need them to do in somebody else, or are you gonna stick it out and try to make it work? You know, but don't ever let nobody treat you like a second option. Don't ever let them. Once they hurt you, don't ever put yourself through that pain twice. Don't ever give them that satisfaction of, oh, they'll always have this type of hold on you, because they won't. They can't. And they shouldn't. Because if they did it once, they'll do it again. And so that's a lesson learned. Don't let them do that. You need to know your self worth and love yourself enough to be like, nah, I'm cool. You can stay where you at. I'm gonna stay where I'm at, and we're gonna keep it breezy. We don't even gotta do all that. We can be cordial when I see you. hey, the case may be. It ain't gotta be no tension. It ain't gotta be no bad bloods. I don't got no hidden agendas against you, no animosity, no none of that. We good. Just not good that on that type of level. In that way, no more. And that's cool. People grow apart. People go different paths. That's just how life is. That could also in your friendships. I mean, you people grow apart. They do different things in life and they move on. But in another sense, in your family, your parents will do that. They'll overlook. They can have, I don't know, 3, 4 kids, but they only, let me say 2, 3, but they really only praise one more than they do the others. You know, and that child could be the worst of them all. In and out of jail, on drugs, don't take care of their responsibilities, and be bad in school and stuff like that. But they'll make it seem like that child is the golden child. That child can do no wrong. That child is beyond you. And here you are, you get straight A's, you ain't never been in jail, and you ain't on drugs, you're respectful to your parents, and you do all that you can for them, versus the other versus your sibling. They don't do much of anything, you know. Um, but they'll make it seem like they are, or if they do, or say y'all both doing something, and they accomplish something and you accomplish something. They'll push yours to the side and only worry about theirs. Like yours don't really matter. Like the hard work that you just did don't even really count. And I don't understand why parents have competitions within their kids. Like these are both your kids. You should want all your kids, how many ever you got, to elevate, prosper, do good, respect, be respectful, and all the other good stuff. Why do you make it? Why make it seem like one is better than the other when they not? They're the same. They both have the. They might have different qualities and different goals and different ambitions, but you should want them to be the. You should treat them the same. Don't single one out. Make it seem like one is more worthy than the other. Hold the one on this pedestal while you keep kicking the other one down. But then when that child becomes distant and don't share their accomplishments and don't say how they feel, and um, they have different people that might be a teacher or a mentor or an aunt or whatever the case may be that is more supportive than you. And then when time comes uh, for could be a big event and they don't tell you. And then you feel some type of way like, oh, you're my child and I'm supposed to, you're supposed to tell me these things. I don't have to tell you anything because even though I could have told you, you know, you made it seem like Tim's accomplishments was more better than mine. You rather go to his graduation than come to mine, or you rather go to his games than come to mine, or my rehearsals versus mine. And it's like you picking you. That's how you get your children to be at each other's throat, because yes, they say you shouldn't have a favorite child, you know. So every time something happens, they'll always be like, "Well, I don't know, even know why I try, or I don't even know why it matters. Mom's gonna pick you over me anyway, or mom's gonna go with whatever you say versus what I say anyway." And it ain't right, because then you got the siblings fighting, and then you think that the good one started all that, and is at fault. They'll parent your parent to make you feel like everything is all your fault. Like the other sibling can't do no wrong. And it's like, dude, like, are you not seeing what I'm seeing? Do you not hear what I hear? Then you make your child feel like you don't love them. And then when it comes down to it, let's just say hypothetically, it come all the way down to it, and you get sick, and that child that you praised so much and gave all this credit to and was there for no matter what, something happens dramatically to you. You get sick or whatever case may be, and that child is nowhere to be found. But the one that you dogged out, made you feel worthless, made you feel like you didn't love them, is right there for you. While the other one is off living their best life, not caring nothing about you, not even worried about if you okay or anything. And then you got your good child here, and you sometimes some parents will still be like, "Why are you here?" Or "Who called you?" Or "I don't want you around. Where is such and such?" And good kid be like, "Look, they can't find them, so they called me, and I'm here. Now if I leave, then you really ain't got nobody. And do you really not want anybody there for you, especially when you're going through hard times? It's like you gotta wait till you get on your deathbed or something traumatic to happen to be like, all right, let me not continue to do this. You know, I just don't think parents should put differences within their kids because it's just not right. And that's how you cause a lot of tension. That's how you cause siblings to fight. That's how you cause your older children, especially if it's the older versus the younger or the younger versus the older, whichever way it is. That's how you get one of them to be very distant, to be very private, to be very much of a black sheep, to only come around when they really need to come around because they don't want to deal with the put down, the belittling, the judgment, the drama, the chaos, and they just want things to be peaceful, calm, and only being around people that really support them instead of always having these negative thoughts and these negative inputs, making them feel like they're not worthy or they're never going to amount to nothing. Anything that they've ever did is not good enough. So, don't do that. Everybody should be treated equally. Don't have a favorite child. And it just ain't right. But we're gonna wrap this up. I think this episode was very good. We touched on a lot of different things. Um, Being overlooked in a lot of different places. Don't ever let nobody overlook you. Don't ever let nobody make you feel like you're not worthy. Don't ever let nobody feel like you can't do anything because you can. You can do a lot of things that you put your mind to. You can do a lot of things through Christ, who strengthens you and will never leave you. Don't ever let nobody treat you like you a second option because you're not. Have enough self-worth and love yourself enough to be able to walk away and know when enough is enough. And as far as like on your job, well, when one door closes, another one will open. So maybe that door closed at that job because it's time for you to move on. It's time for you to go somewhere else that you gonna get the recognition and you're gonna get the promotions and stuff that you deserve, instead of being overlooked and training somebody else for a position that they don't really deserve. So that's just something to keep in mind. If anybody told y'all today that they love you, I love you, and you're all beautiful. See y'all in the next episode.